My name is Don Stott. I am a father who experienced estrangement from one of my adult children firsthand. Welcome to Beyond the Pain, a place where parents of estranged adult children can find peace and healing. In each episode, I hope to share stories that'll help you through some of your darkest hours. To bring this out of the shadows and stop being ashamed. Then to build you up and inspire you to love yourselves even more. Hello, I want to start by reminding you that I am not a therapist or a doctor. I am just a guy who's been there and wants to help you have a life past our estranged children. If you need mental help coping with this or have thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, please seek professional help. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the pandemic and how estrangement is, how we react to the pandemic in relation to our estrangement. Hopefully that makes sense. I tried putting this off. I had some other ideas, but I felt like it was really important and it wouldn't let me go until I put this out there. So I'm hoping that this is good timing. I know right now is a crazy time in the world. We are going through so much on top of our estrangement. So I'm hoping that some of this helps. During this time, we're all so stressed, and with the history of our estranged children, just makes it come more to the forefront than it ever has. Many of the things that are happening are likely to bring up those feelings. Even if you have closed the door on that relationship, you may find yourself worried about them, or you may be upset because they don't seem to worry about you. There is no right answer, no right way to feel or how to handle this. The best thing is to understand, in my opinion, that you're not the only one going through this and that feels the way you do. So many things about the pandemic, I realized recently, mirror the feelings that we have all had or are having due to our estrangement, in my opinion. Here are a few things that I try to remember. Fear is a huge thing right now, especially with the pandemic going on. There's so many unknown things right now. It's hard to process all of this information that you're finding. So I would suggest, please take it slow. Make some decisions based on your own gut and the things you find. Very similar to the things that happened or are happening with our children. Please do not let others tell you you have to feel this way or you have to do this or that relating to the pandemic. Again, like with our children, no one really understands our specific circumstances unless they're going through it. Only you can decide what is right for you. No one else can or has the right to decide that. Family members, much like with our estranged children, sometimes the family and friends, they don't understand your viewpoint. It's rather difficult to talk about. Everyone is so on edge about everything. So I would suggest being pretty sparing with the things that you discuss. It'll only cause stress if you're not on the same page. Sound familiar? As you can see, these all can mirror our experience with our children. That's kind of scary, huh? In relation to some of the hot topics out there, like the news, I would not watch or listen to the news 24/7, including on social media, sometimes especially on social media. For a long, long time, way before the pandemic, I've always been a believer in take what you need and leave the rest. Everybody out there has an opinion. Everybody out there has a different take on things. So find what works for you, what you believe is the correct information, and use that. Otherwise, it'll just have you more stressed out. In addition, it again could cause more division in your friends and family if you're not thinking alike. So it's something to consider. You also have to consider your own health. Be mindful of your health during this time. Make sure you're being careful, of course. If you're sick, do what you need to do. And most importantly, don't get caught up in every single tidbit of information out there. It won't serve you. Make your own decision based on your gut and what you think is right. If you have any chronic health issues, only you know how you'll react to it. Make sure you have anything that you might need to be able to deal with it. Be mindful of these things and make sure you are okay. You cannot control your loved ones. You cannot make them do what you want them to do, what you think they should do. Just like with you, you have to do what you feel is right. Your loved ones have to do what they feel is right. And you won't always agree on that. It's a really hard lesson, but it's really worth remembering. Right now, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Or have their hours cut. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. If you're one of those, just do what you can to survive until this is all over, and hopefully it won't last a long, long time. If you're not one of those, be thankful. That is one thing that you don't have to deal with. You may see changes in your sleep pattern. The inability to get to sleep or stay asleep. I know I have that problem sometimes. Both. You could have very detailed dreams where you're very, very busy in your dreams, so you don't feel like you've slept. Or you may have bad dreams that just shake you to the core, that have nothing to do necessarily with a pandemic or your estrangement, just weird, bad dreams. So sleep is so important. If you don't get enough sleep, it'll affect most, if not all, aspects of your life eventually. You may also see changes in your eating habits, eating things you don't normally eat or you wouldn't normally eat. Do the best you can to eat well. However, if you do fail, please don't spend too much time beating yourself up over it. Take care of your mental health. If you already suffer from some sort of mental illness, you'll need to make sure and be careful that you have the resources you need and the things you need to make sure you don't go in a bad direction. Do what you know you need to so you don't have as many issues. If you do find yourself having more issues, please be sure to get help. Whether it's calling 911 or some other agency, there are many listed on the CDC website. Many states and cities have a 211 option you can call or website to find help. Some of your emotional reactions could run the gamut. Could be a very mixed up time. You could feel relief for some reason. If you've been sick with COVID, I would imagine that's very stressful. If you're monitoring yourself or you have somebody monitoring you to make sure you don't get sick again, that has got to be incredibly stressful. You could experience sadness, anger, frustration, because maybe your friends or loved ones are worried about getting the disease from you, or if they're the ones that are sick, you're worried about getting it from them or getting reinfected. It could, like I said, run the gamut of any other of these emotional or mental changes. I think the biggest takeaway From today, I would say everyone reacts differently to stressful situations. How you respond to the COVID-19 pandemic depends on many things: your background, the social support you may have from your family or friends, your financial situation, your underlying health, emotional background, even the community you live in. All of those can be, and I'm sure there's lots of others, but all of those can be determining factors on how you handle it. Some people may respond more strongly to the stress of a crisis than others. Certain groups may respond better than others. And that's okay. Everybody's a little different. Whatever you do for stress, for yourself, take the time to unwind. Unwind from your day, whatever that means for you. Does that mean you meditate? Some people can't. I have a hard time getting to meditation. Some people do strenuous activity, run or ride bikes or lift weights, whatever the case may be. You could try learning something new. Maybe learn to cook, do some writing, blog. You never know where that might lead. You can connect with others. Connecting with others is very important. In this time, even before the pandemic, people are not connected as much as they once were. So, especially right now, I feel like connecting with people, and sometimes you can't do that in person right now, but connecting with someone via phone, via text, via Skype, via whatever, will help you to get through some of this. You talk with those people closest to you, the ones you really trust, that will not bash your feelings, that will not, that will just listen, really. The people that will just listen. Right now, it's hard for people because everyone is so divided. If you can find your tribe, that is really important, so you feel a little less alone. I feel like I've found my tribe with a circle of friends that during this time have really helped me to stay focused on what I need to be focused on. And that's what I hope for all of you. It's hard. There's so much information coming at you. There's so many different things. And you just have to find what's right for you, find what's best for you. So that's all I have today. I hope it was a little helpful. Like I said earlier, I've been thinking about doing this for a couple of weeks, and I'm actually going to put this episode just ahead of the other episode I was going to post this coming week, because I think it's important to put this out there. It's a tough time right now, so if you take one thing away from this, make sure you take care of yourself. Nobody else can take care of yourself better than you. If you would like to join the conversation or you have any stories you'd like to share, please email me at beyondthepainpodcast@gmail.com. Remember, you can find me on most of your favorite podcast apps, including Google, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please remember to subscribe and comment, rate my podcast. This will help it get out to more people who might need it. Please remember to allow yourself to live beyond the pain.